name's Linda, and this is Lilybug's Library. Welcome, or welcome back. Today we're going to do a massive book haul. I don't get out a lot, but I ordered some things from Book Outlet, and then when I'm back and forth to doctors' offices and things, I did discover a secondhand bookstore and got a few things from there as well. Plus, we have the bookcase downstairs in the apartment building, so by the time I was kind of finished, I ended up with a lot. Grab a cup of coffee or tea and get ready because we have quite a few books to go over. And happy Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day or whatever you want to call it. Hope that you're having a good day. We're going to start with, let's see, a few of the ones that I got from Book Outlet. I don't know as I have them in any particular order here. But the first one was called The Secret of Bones. And so this one's by Kylie Logan. And it says it's Assembly Day at St. Catherine's School for Girls, and Jazz Ramsey does cadaver dog training, and so she's there talking to the girls about that. So she has an adorable new puppy, Wally, but he hasn't been certified yet. So she takes this trained dog named Gus and takes him there. She hides some bones around, and he's supposed to go and find them and impress the children. So he finds a couple that she buried, but then he finds something that they didn't expect, and it turns out that there's a skeleton that's buried there. So it sounds like it's going to be really interesting. And I mean, I've read a lot of dog books, but I don't think I've ever read anything about a cadaver dog. I mean, I knew they existed, but I don't think I've ever read a story about them. A few of the ones I got from Book Outlet were nonfiction, and at some point during the year, we'll do a nonfiction month. But this was one of them. It was Olivia Newton-John's memoir called "Don't Stop Believing," and it talks all about her life and her. The fact that she sold more than a million albums and her roles in Grease and things and Xanadu. And then it talks about her battle with breast cancer and everything that she went through with all of that. So it sounds like it'll be really good. And then someone that I always loved as a kid, I was very big on Little House on the Prairie and Laura Ingalls Wilder. So you can see her on the back of the book as a kid. And, you know, there she is now. She looks great. And it's called Back to the Prairie. And so it's, about her life and then about the fact that she ended up, her and her new husband, I think, fairly new, they ended up moving to the country and kind of starting their own sort of homestead and everything that she dealt with trying to do that during the pandemic. And so I think it's going to be really interesting, and I'm excited to hear what she has to say about it all and how different that must be from living, in Los Angeles or somewhere or New York. So the next one is called What Jonah Knew, and it's by Barbara Graham. So it's about this woman whose son Henry disappears, but he's an adult, and the cops think it was voluntary, and she doesn't. She knows her son well enough to know that he wouldn't just do that. And so, meanwhile, there's this little boy who is born, and as he gets a little older, he talks about this other mom and a dog, and they end up taking a cottage near where this woman lives. And it turns out he knows all these things about Henry, and she doesn't understand how he could possibly know this. So she doesn't know if he's the reincarnation of Henry, whether it's some kind of weird psychic thing. So anyway, I think that one's gonna be pretty cool where they go with that. So the next one is one of my favorite actors is Tom Hanks, and really have enjoyed just about everything he's done, even the ones that weren't big box office hits. I usually still enjoyed. So this one is called The World According to Tom Hanks. And you can see on the cover, you can see some of the different things that he's played. I mean, everything from a astronaut to a wooden soldier. And it's just about how the way that he thinks of things and how he lives his life. And the fact that, good guys aren't really that valued these days, and so he kind of breaks that mold of that. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting. So I think that was all the ones I got from Book Outlet. I think. So the other ones, I got three from just downstairs. So I'm trying to grab those, but they're slippery. There we go. These two, and I think maybe this one. Trying to think of what came from where, but I think this is right. So one is called The Rome Affair, and I just love this cover. I think it's so pretty, and it's by Karen Swan. And it talks about Elena Damiana in 1974 and how she, at 26, like she's wealthy, she's pretty, she's already on her third husband, and then she meets someone that she falls in love with, but apparently she can't have for some reason. And then apparently it goes after that to 2017 to a woman named Francesca. Francesca. I think that's right. Leading tourist groups, and she finds a stolen designer handbag in her dustbin and returns it. And she's introduced to the grand neighbor who lives across the plaza. It belongs to her neighbor Elena, and she's overjoyed. The bag contains unopened letter written by her husband on his deathbed 12 years earlier. So then it's them trying to solve the mystery of how these things connect. So that one sounds interesting. I kind of like those dual timeline ones if they're done well. The next one is called Forbidden Magic by Jo Beverly. And this one is about this woman who's in, really bad shape. Her landlords threaten to throw them into the streets in the winter unless she gives her sister up to his lechery and, all of that. And she's not going to do that, obviously. So she does have this magic statue that apparently is supposed to grant wishes for a price. So she's debating using that to try and help get them out of this situation. So anyway, should be interesting, something a little different. And this one is, sorry, my back's hurting today. This one is one of the Regency type romances. So it's not something I normally read. I don't normally read Regency romances or the Bridgertons, which I know is really popular, but I've never read any of them. But I'm trying to kind of check some of those out and, do something a little different. So this one is called A Duke in Shining Armor, and it's by Loretta Chase. And it says Hugh Philemon Ancaster, 7th Duke of Ripley, will never win prizes for virtue, but even he draws the line at running off with his best friend's bride. All he's trying to do is recapture the slightly inebriated Lady Olympia Hightower and return her to her intended bridegroom. So I think it sounds like it's going to be cute. So I'm interested in that. And then I had another one that I got from here it is, that I got from the secondhand store, and this one is apparently from the best-selling author of the Bridgerton series, Julia Quinn, and it's called Just Like Heaven. And it was secondhand, but it feels brand new. So it says, first installment in the Bridgerton adjacent Regency era set world, featuring the romantic exploits of the well-meaning but less than accomplished Smythe Smith musicians. In this case, a beautiful violinist in the pitiful group has her sights set on marrying the last unwed Bridgerton, unless her handsome, love-struck guardian has anything to say about it. So I think that'll be good. So I'm interested to see what all the hype is about, because like I said, I've never read anything to do with the Bridgertons. So I'm hoping it lives up to it. All right, so the rest of them do all come from the secondhand store. They have this one section of the store that is 10 mass market paperbacks for $10. And who can resist $1 a book, right? So the first one is Danielle Steele, and it's called Flying Angels. And it took me a while to find where it talks about the book, but she does it on the inside back cover, which is a little unusual. So it says World War II brings together 6 remarkable young flight nurses who face the challenges of war and its many heartbreaks and victories as unsung heroes. So it's I think it'll be good. I really enjoy World War II books. For the most part, I find them pretty well done. Every now and again, you kind of get a dud, but a lot of them I really enjoy. So the next one, I've been looking for more of her books because I've read 2, maybe 3 now. She has like I think 30. I think she's on 34. So I don't know if I'll ever catch up. But this is Donna Andrews, The Hen of the Baskervilles. So that one looks really good. And it says Meg Lanslow is helping Mayor Randolph Schiffley organize the Virginia Unfair, Caerphilly's entry in the race to replace the old bankrupt state fair. Before a line can even form outside the ticket booth, however, a pair of bantam Russian Orloff chickens are stolen from their coop in the chicken tent. And it talks about how there's been a rash of vandalism where everything's being stolen, from animals to crafts to whatever. So trying to keep this fair from going on. So sounds like it could be good. And I do love that character of Meg Lanslow and her family and stuff. So I think I'll really enjoy that one. So the next one I picked up because again it was an author I haven't read. I don't think. It's hard to keep track sometimes, but I don't think I've read her. But it's Barbara Delinsky, and it was called Sweet Salt Air. And I mostly picked it up because A, I hadn't read her, and B, it looks like summer. And after 2 major snowstorms, I could use a little summer. So this one says Charlotte and Nicole were once the best of friends, spending summers together in Nicole's island home off of Maine. But many years and many secrets have kept the women apart. A successful travel writer, single Charlotte lives on the road, while Nicole, a food blogger, keeps house in Philadelphia with her surgeon husband, Julian. When Nicole is commissioned to write a book about island food, she invites her old friend Charlotte back to Quinnipiac. Okay, people from there would probably know how you pronounce that, but that's as close as I can come. Outgoing and passionate, Charlotte has a gift for talking to people and making friends, and Nicole could use her expertise for interviews with locals. So anyway, it sounds like it's going to be interesting, and then it says what both women don't know is that they're each holding something back that may change their lives forever. So that one could be good. And the next one is an author that my late mother used to really enjoy. Her name is Carla Neggers. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I've got a couple of her books on my shelf, but I haven't read them. And this is another one by her called Red Clover Inn. So it says marine archaeologist Charlotte Bennett is no stranger to risk, but her dives into sunken wreckage are always meticulously planned. However, being the maid of honor in her cousin Samantha's English wedding gives her a new perspective on her life as a nomad who's given up on romance altogether. So of course, she's bound to meet someone. And this one again, someone I haven't read, but they have a lot of books out. I don't know how many, but I'm interested to dive into one and see what I think of it. It's Lillian Jackson Braun, and it's The Cat Who Went Up the Creek. And it says Jim Quilleran is enjoying his stay at the Nutcracker Inn in Black Creek. So he has 2 Siamese cats, Coco and Yum Yum. And Coco likes keeping an eye on the squirrels and other local wildlife. So while Coco is watching some jumping trout, he spots something else, a body floating downstream. So it's him and the cats solving the mystery. And then I got 4 that are by the same author who I've never read, and I thought, oh, I don't know how good an idea that was, but I'm really hopeful that the author's good. Otherwise, I have 4 books that I'm not going to care for. Okay, my throat's getting dry. So her name is Lizzie Lane, and so I got A Wartime Friend, Home Sweet Home, War Orphans, and War Baby. So it doesn't say much on the back of each one, just a little blurb. So for War Baby, it just talks about how they find this baby in a bombed out house. And so they, take her home, and try to raise her. So that's one. War Orphans talks about Joanna's father went off to war, and she's left with her stepmother, who apparently is more concerned with having a good time than being a parent. And so then she finds a puppy, and she's determined to save him, and have him bring her comfort. Home Sweet Home is about a woman who is can't remember her parents. She's being brought up by her uncle and her cousins, and then because she's growing up during the war, she ends up falling in love with someone, and it's her kind of coming of age story. And then Wartime Friend says after escaping a train bound for a death camp with a trusted German Shepherd dog, a girl wakes to find that she has no memory of her former life. And so it talks about her being fostered by an RAF pilot who found her and his wife, and about their escapades during the war, and what goes on with them. So that one sounds, they all sound good. Like I said, we'll see what the author's like. I hope she's good. And then I have three that, are fairly new. The first one, I had such a struggle, and it's a struggle over $5, but still, I mean, these days, $5 is $5, right? I mean, with the economy the way it is. I've read the first in the Cider Shop Mysteries, but I have it on Kindle. I don't have the physical book. And so it was there as well as another one. And I debated, like, do I buy the one I've already got just so I can have the physical copy? And I chose not to. But I did get the one I haven't read, which was called Pulp Friction. And it says, thanks to Winnie's new cider shop, Smythe Orchards is out of the red, and folks can get their fix of the produce and other delectable products they love all year round. And so they get ready for this June wedding, and they're going to have it hosted. And Winnie's ex, Hank, is there for whatever reason. I guess he's a friend to, the bride or the groom. Anyway, he is seen in a heated argument with the groom, and then he's seen driving away or running away, and the groom turns up dead. So then it's up to them to, he's the prime suspect, so it's up to them to get that all sorted out. So the next one I did read, I think the latest in the series, but this is the very first book in the series. It's I think it's just maybe they call it the Deep Dish Pizza series. I'm not sure what they call the actual series, but this one is called 6 Feet Deep Dish by Mindy Quigley. And the one that I read, I believe, was called Public Anchovy Number 1. And it was really good. And I remember the cat in it named Butterball. So this is the beginning of the series. So it just says Delilah O'Leary can't wait to open her new gourmet deep dish pizzeria in Genevieve, Wisconsin, a charming resort town with a long history as a mobster's hideaway, millionaire's playground, and vacation mecca. So it says just before opening night, her fiance dumps her and leaves her with a very large memento from their relationship, Butterball, their spoiled plus-size tabby cat. And so then it talks about how things go from there. And this one is called Goodbye Cruller World by Ginger Bolton. And it says, normally Emily's eyes tend to glaze over when prospective brides go on about their wedding plans. But the owner of the clothing shop Dressed to Kill asks Emily to design a donut wall for her reception. So she's all over that. And she, with the help of her father-in-law and business partner, the former police chief of Fallingbrook, she hangs the treats from dowels on the wall so guests can help themselves. But the night of the reception, the groom ends up on the floor with signs of poisoning, and she thinks that somebody messed with the treats. So I think all those sound amazing. I'm really looking forward to many of them, and I'll get to them all eventually. So I will say, I figure this is probably going to be my last book haul for the year because I feel like I need to start reading from my shelves. But it's, the secondhand books especially, they're hard to resist because you feel like you're getting a deal, which you are, but we'll see how it goes. I said to my daughter that I wasn't going to buy any more books this year, and she laughed and laughed. So I don't think she believes me, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the book haul, and I'll be back in a couple of days with some info about what I've been reading and what's coming up in March. All right, talk to you soon, friends. Bye bye.